All right, looks like we found game number 3 of a pretty interesting matchup here. It's a deck that I've read a lot about and seen a couple times, but have wanted to check out some more matches. We have Bant Vannifar is hanging out on the left here, and we have Hardened Skills hanging out on the right.
I am really excited to see the Vannifar deck in action here. Hardened Scales is a good deck that's going to pressure really well, but it might be low on creature interaction.
Oh, definitely. I was thinking we might get a chance to see Vannifar or Vannifar, depending on how people want to say that one, go off with against this matchup because I think we're just kind of on walking ballista for interaction, maybe some dismembers out of the sideboard here, but I'm not sure who's on the play. If Nicholas is on the play, this could be an interesting one.
I'm excited. I think that the Vannifar deck has a lot going for it. Tutor packages are always strong, and being able to have so many silver bullets for your games 2 and 3 are really a fun thing to be able to watch on camera.
I'm curious if there's going to be something like a Kataki that got sideboarded
I
in.
think that card is underplayed a lot. A lot of the artifact attack for a long time has been Stony Silence or Destruction effects, but against like Grixis War Prison, the Kataki effect is just way better.
Correct, yeah. Using all of your opponent's mana to just keep their permanents on the board. Their like Darksteel Citadels don't really do anything at that point, and yeah, Kataki is a very, very brutal card.
And it swings for 2. Like that is you've got to get in some damage, so do it.
Finally have Mox Opal hands, and then they don't fucking like do anything I want them to.
Right, seems like each of these players are taking mulligan, so we're going to be on a level playing field here at 6 cards.
Which deck do you think has a better 6-card hand?
I would probably say Vannifar, because just having land plus accelerant.
Sure.
But I do see a dismember hanging out in Emmanuel's hand.
Yeah, I could see an argument either way. I was looking first at just thinking about what Hardened Scales would do with 6, and I can see them having a very strong 4-card hand. Like if I got to pick the 4, maybe with the new mulligan roll.
Yeah, curious to see if that's going to stick around. That's a whole big topic of conversation there.
It's always fun to talk
We
about.
do have the accelerant for Nicholas on turn 1, and just the Darksteel Citadel Welding Jar for Emmanuel, but followed up with a Forest and a Stirrings. What are we going to find?
One of the most powerful cards in Modern.
And it's a Thinker over here. I see a Ravager as part of the mix.
Right, when you're not just slamming a Ravager, it's a great deck. There's a lot of powerful things to do with this deck.
And looks like we're maybe going on the Infect plan here. Picking up an Inkmoth Nexus. And a Wall of Roots. This takes me back to pod days.
Well, this deck is its great-grandchild.
Alright, we have a Mox Opal that's turned on, so Emmanuel's going to have a fair amount of mana this turn. Looks like Emmanuel was thumbing a Walking Ballista to the top there. That would just sort of be like a 2-mana removal spell for the Noble Hierarch if Emmanuel cast it on 2, but we're going for 4, so it's going to come out with 2 counters and ping the Hierarch.
Oh. Guess Emmanuel could be trying to keep Nicholas off 4 mana. But with that Wall of Roots... Oh, I guess the Wall of Roots can be taken care of with the Dismember. We might be able to keep that board clear for a while. The Vannifar combo only works if we have one creature standing.
You do need to have creatures, and speaking of Vannifar, looks like that was a pickup for Nicholas. And I'm feeling it might eat a Dismember.
I don't know. We'll see.
I agree.
It's being thought about. There are other options in his hand. You might want to set up a little bit first.
Yeah, if Nicholas is able to just deploy enough creatures that Emmanuel has to deal with, we might see the Dismember used before Nicholas plays out of Vannifar, which seems like the route to take right now, especially considering Emmanuel's not doesn't have that threatening of a board yet. There's no hardened skulls out there. There's no way to move counters around to the Ink Moth, and we have a path in Nicholas's hand. And we're getting Knight of Autumn that is going to target a Walking Ballista. And the Walking Ballista is going to ping the Knight.
Ballista for 2. Sure. Pass.
And followed up by another Ballista for Emmanuel.
It's a good hand.
It definitely prevents Nicholas from playing any of his mana accelerants, because those will just get eaten up for free.
And we happen to know that he has that sneaky Dismember hanging out in his hand.
Spellskite, that's interesting and seems like a good card for Nicholas to get into play.
Nicholas chose Forest, probably because of the rules.
Spellskite seems very strong in this matchup to eat up your modular triggers. And I think we just have Path and Bird left over.
We're keeping Path up.
And Stirrings. You get something good here? Tormod's Crypt.
Real Tormod's Crypt? Okay. Cast Tormod's Crypt? Sure.
Curious what that was in there for.
Maybe there was a game 2 graveyard shenanigans.
Activate and shoot you for 3.
Alright, going for the Path on the Ballista. It's just going to get an activation and ping Nicholas for 3, but right now, both players are drawing off the top of their deck, kind of favoring Nicholas right now, especially with that Spellskite.
Cards? No cards.
I don't know.
No blocks. Sweet.
I don't see Nicholas winning without hitting a Vannifar
Main phase?
or a string of value creatures. But this Walking Ballista is kind of some inevitability.
There's a Hangerback Walker we had deployed for one there, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Hangerback Walker.
But we're an Arcbound Ravager away from having that Ink Moth be a real threat.
Sure.
Kasali Pride Mage.
Combat? Yeah, you're in.
Are we going to get a swing with the Spellskite? Love it when that happens.
Yes. It works.
I went from 20 to 16.
It looks like chat pointing out that there's some combos with Rallier, and that could be what the Tormod script is for. That seems like a pretty heads-up observation.
Thank you, chat.
Emmanuel really doesn't want things to happen from the graveyard, so chat is probably correct about that.
I did 2. Yep.
Alright, 2 in fact.
Pass.
Boom.
Well, we might get to see some interesting stuff.
And step on that activate. That's pretty good.
We're definitely not casting spells from the graveyard or having creatures enter from the library.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a hang up
But
there.
I think we've got a route here. Because the birds can get the Scrib Rangers. Scrib Rangers can untap.
Well, we can't have anything come from the library because
Oh,
those
library
grafted
either.
pages.
Oh, exciting.
So
We're going to do this hard way with just Spellskite beats.
So you don't want to redirect?
Play Renegade Rallier?
Sure.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And then
All right.
activate. Yeah. green.
I don't think we should have that Quasali Pride Mage coming back after being sacrificed because of that Grafdigger's Cage. So I'm going to take a moment and go and notify the table.
Actually, is that alright?
Yeah.
Good. That came from the graveyard?
Correct. Oh,
It can't.
Sweet. Thanks.
You can pass that, you don't have a target, and then you just go into your turn right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, actually.
You can target a
Use the
land.
floating activate coming for 1.
Yeah.
Put you to 4. Pass. Double cage, pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't either, so.
All right, I hope everyone enjoyed the optics of my hand hovering over the play area there.
Activate.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep things honest here.
Walker ever.
So we're up to 4, in fact. I don't see that ending anytime soon.
Pass.
May have missed a couple things, but I was pretty interested in continuing the Inkmoth beatdown, as that seems like a way to finish the game out.
I do too. Maybe Emmanuel feels very comfortable at this point that the combos are locked down and the skies will be clear.
But we do have a very few seconds left on the clock.
Oh, that is exciting.
Try to figure out what you path here.
Yeah.
And that's time.
So Emmanuel's going to need some sort of pump effect to get through enough infect damage.
So we've got the Ballista to deal with blockers like the bird, but then we have a Spellskite redirect for that, so
I'll pass the hanger
gets
Yeah, that happens.
gets tricky, and we're gonna get a path on Hangerback. And yeah, we're gonna have to. If Emmanuel's gonna have to take care of that Spellskite to do any kind of modular shenanigans here, so each player is gumming up the other person's game plan pretty hard right now.
Right. I don't see Nicholas getting 15 damage in with the current lot of creatures he's got. Hardened Scales is maybe helpful. Are we going to be able to ballista damage through?
Let's do the math here.
It's tough because you still have to get through that Spellskite.
Yeah. Well, Spellskite is actually fine with the Ballista, I guess. I'm okay if my opponent pays 2 life, but we do have some blue mana hanging out with the birds, Noble, and
2 lands.
yeah, so
Pass.
Turn 3, turn 4.
we are at quite the standstill here.
Yeah.
Pass.
Actually, I'll play my land. Pass.
End of turn.
Yeah.
Activate trigger. I'll remove 4 counters. Shoot.
All right.
Sure. Untap, upkeep, draw.
Well,
Yep.
I'm not seeing it here. Are you seeing it?
Unless this one of those Grafdigger's Cages is actually 4 Juggernauts.
Yeah, if I drew a Ravager, I would have had it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Nice game.
Yeah, man.
Looks
Yeah.
like that's going to be a draw.
Yeah, totally forgot that. I was like, oh man, this actually works. I have to grab
Not as many
it.
fireworks
I
as the roof.
bought 'em to get rid of the other cage.
Shamans.
Even with the Weapon Giant play?
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
the
those
general-
cages shut down all of our fun. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, if you're going to play one of the less used graveyard interactions,
I was like
it's nice when it
points.
comes with
Like, I
this
guess if Rattler
wonderful
had
like
negative
side
one,
effect
they
of
would've
hitting
been
this
one.
library searching deck.
Correct, and also just the
Yeah,
fact that you
I
can
guess
use
I burned one, I had a
that
second
really
one.
powerful tutor effect-ish, or like greater cantrip in Ancient Stirrings to find your sideboard cards when they're colorless seems really strong with a very efficiently costed sideboard card like Grafdigger's Cage.
Tons of damage in.
It's another one of those Innistrad cards we're seeing featured today.
Do like something else.
All right, so we're going to
Get
take
the
a break
bell ring
here
off, 2 drop, and then
and
get a rest,
go
and then rest off before
get
drop. So I
the
think I
next
can
round
do
ready.
that.
We should return in a
With
couple minutes.
regular